All right. So we are at.
Isaiah chapter 47.
Okay, got it.
Okay, and I'm going to pick it up at verse 1. And the title of this is The Fall of Babylon. It says, go down, sit in the dust, virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground without a throne, daughter of the Aryans. No more will you be called tender and delicate.
Hold on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I see a mark there by Aryans, or it says Babylonians, and I see an A there. Is there? It says, or children of Chaldeans. What is Chaldeans? What are Chaldeans?
Chaldeans would be ancient Babylon. That's where the land was, which would be modern day Iraq.
So now you call them Aryans, but here it's saying, or the people of Chaldeans.
Right. You got to remember, Scripture speaks in duality. But as we read further, you'll see that it's not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about this daughter.
Well, why? And I'm just looking at this, and I'm just trying to get an understanding for those of us who don't really read this and just trying to bring it back around. Are they in error when they say that? Is this book in error when it says Chaldeans? Hold on for a second. Let's see here. Where were you just reading from? Okay, so when it considers the Babylonians in this particular part right here as Chaldeans, is it in error or is it correct, or how should that be looked at? That's what I'm trying to.
Every time it mentions Babylon, they are going to refer to ancient Babylon. But
in this book,
right? I mean, period.
Okay.
They're going to refer to ancient Babylon, but see, you have to. That's why I say you have to know the history of what happened in Babylon, ancient Babylon. How was it destroyed? And then once you know that, and then you read Scripture, and say, okay, well, that ain't the same Babylon then.
So this book is in error, is what you're saying. I'm just trying to, call it a spade. Is it in error when it says that this Babylonians right here is referring to the Chaldeans, which were Israelite or people of Israel?
No, the Chaldeans weren't Israelites.
I mean, who were the Chaldeans again? I'm sorry.
Chaldeans. That's ancient. That's ancient Babylonian.
I mean, yeah. And ancient Babylonian is what, Iraq. You said.
That was ancient Iraq. That would be modern day Iraq.
Okay, that would be modern day Iraq. So when this refers to the Babylonians as Iraqis, is it in error? Is what I'm asking, or because you're saying no, that this Babylonians here refers to the Aryans.
It's going to say Babylon, but it's not referring to the Babylonians of antiquity.
What does that mean?
It's not talking about that. You have to remember, just like I said, Scripture speaks in symbolism. Just because it says Babylon, when it's saying Babylon, it's just simply saying confusion, because that's what Babylon means, confusion.
Right.
So that's all it's saying. And so now it's saying the daughter of confusion.
Right.
See, if it was talking about ancient Babylon, it would be talking about King Nebuchadnezzar, who was king of ancient Babylon.
Right.
It's not talking about King Nebuchadnezzar like when we were reading in Jeremiah, and it mentioned the king of Assyria, then it mentioned the king Nebuchadnezzar.
Right.
Remember when we read that?
Yeah, but you don't want to call this book wrong. Is that what I'm saying? Because you calling these people. You're saying that when it says the daughter of Babylonians, you're saying the daughter of Aryans or the white people.
Well, when I say Aryans, I'm just calling out the people whom it's talking about today.
Right. So let me ask you.
It's not talking about those Shemitic people of ancient Babylon.
Right. So
it's not talking about Nebuchadnezzar.
Right. So that being said, because this book says it's talking about the Chaldeans, which are the people of Nebuchadnezzar. Is that correct?
Okay, well then I could say that's wrong.
That's what I wanted to get to. I wanted to know, is this thing in error?
Yeah, they're in error. And if we read on, It's going to put everything in perspective. We just came out of Revelation, so let's just read, and then we'll get our answer.
So
How
let me
about
ask.
that?
That's cool. Let me ask you this:
Okay.
does your book have some kind of reference in it that says that when it speaks of the daughter of the Babylonians that is talking about Chaldeans, or does it not have? Because you're reading the original Hebrew text. Is that correct?
I'm reading out of the Hebrew text, and mine doesn't have any reference letters.
Okay, so
Your reference letters are in your King James version.
exactly, which
which
been manipulated.
Right, they have the reference letters that tell you, okay, go read this scripture because this is what they're talking about. And no, 9 times out of 10, that's not the case.
Okay,
this is not talking about ancient Babylon. This is a prophecy for future Babylon, which is called the daughter of Babylon.
Okay, all right, good.
If it was ancient Babylon, it would have been talking about ancient Babylon. It would have just simply said Babylon, and it would have been talking about King Nebuchadnezzar.
Okay,
it's not talking about that Babylon. Okay,
all right.
But let's finish reading. It'll come out. Let's pick it up at verse 1. Go down, sit in the dust, virgin daughter of the Aryans. Sit on the ground without a throne, daughter of the Babylonians or Aryans, because we're talking about this Roman Empire, these descendants of these Romans in America. No more will you be called tender or delicate. Take millstones and grind flour. Take off your veil. Lift up your skirt. Bare your legs and wade through the stream.
What is that in reference to right there?
Just basically all the stuff that you've been doing that the world don't know about, or the people that's living in your country don't know about, it's going to be exposed.
Because you referenced this to something else last time we read it.
The Statue of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Same different. She still going. What's up under her skirt? Still, all the stuff that she's been doing that the people do not know about is going to be exposed. Point blank, that this verse is saying your nakedness is going to be exposed. Everything you try to keep hidden from people, it's going to be exposed.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's basically all that verse is saying right there. Verse 3. Your nakedness will be exposed, and your shame uncovered. I will take vengeance. I will not spare no one. Our Redeemer Yah, the Almighty, is his name. It is the unique one of Yasharal. Sit in silence. Go into darkness, daughter of the Aryans. No more will you be called Queen of Kingdom. Now, isn't that the same thing she was called in Revelation? Remember what we read in Revelations? And since I got it open, I'll read it. Where it says in Revelation 18 in verse 7, to the degree that she glorified herself and lived luxuriously, the same degree give her back torment and mourning. For she says in her heart, I sit as a queen. I am not a widow and will not be mourning.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Verse 6. I was angry with my people and desecrated my inheritance. I gave them into your hand, and you showed them no mercy.
So this is, let me ask you this, because this is another thing that kind of, that brought me around to understanding what this book really is. When it says, I was angry with my people, and I kept saying, well, first of all, who is this speaking?
Right, who is the people he was angry with?
Who is this speaking, and then who is his people? And
we are his people.
And so, and we being
Yasharal,
who are
the Hebrews.
Okay, I'm just saying. I just want to get this, get this right, because again, I've spoken about how, and while we're here, while we're at this place, let's go ahead and take this into account. We are the only people who don't know who we truly are, right? We don't have a full understanding of our history or our heritage, and some of us, this word, this title has been, I feel, in my opinion, has been thrust upon us, this African American title. And my issue with that is, like, I have never, that's not my descendant. I've always proclaimed that. It's like, if you want to call me something, I'm black, I accept that title, but the African American, I was like, I've never even felt any kind of, when you feel something for a people, then it's easy to accept. Okay, yeah, we African American, but it's been thrust upon us. Oh, you African Americans. Can we talk about how this may be another way of them further trying to separate us from our identity, or to make us be a part of a people, and forget where our heritage. Well, we can't really forget what we never knew, but is this another way of trying to separate us from our identity?
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what's been going on. That's why they never deal with slavery, and then when they deal with slavery and touch on what's going on with Black America, they don't come to the people who really know the real info. They don't go to the Hebrew camp because we know our history. We know who we are. Scripture is the foundation. Scripture validates who we are, why we came here, how long we're going to be here, how we were going to be treated while we were here, and what's going to happen after we leave here. So that's why they don't go to the blacks in our community that know this. So therefore, they go to the Al Sharptons and the Andrew Youngs and, the Martin Luther King crew. They go to those people and talk to them because those are the ones of our people that sold us out. They're the ones that sold out. So they're the ones that living good from all that stuff they tried to orchestrate back then. Okay? But as for the majority of our people, they're not the ones living good. And then you have that very small remnant, that portion of us who have been called out and that study and know the truth and know who we are as a people, know that we're not Africans, know what the deal is, have researched and studied the historical writings and accounts to know how did we get down there in the first place. And then what happened to us when we were taken from there and brought here. That was, just like you said, African was a term that was laid upon us, that was forced upon us. And then by our people knowing that they didn't have any identity, they did not feel any ties to Africa, that's when our people, with the Malcolm X movement, the Black Panther movement, all those movements of Black nationalism. So then we stopped with the African thing, and then we went to the Afro. Then we went to, all the little different bywords. So you went from African to Afro to Black to, the X, meaning unknown. So, that was all a part of that because our people were trying to find something to identify with because we didn't identify with Africa. We just did not. And then with Nelson Mandela and all the rest of the African leaders, none of them have ever came to America and declared, send our people back home. None of them, ever.
Because we're not their people, do you think they know?
Exactly.
Do you think they know?
They know we're not their people. You can talk to Africans in the street and they will tell you, you all are not our people.
And so, but we look at that as though they're trying to, because there's always been this thing where Africans, it's almost like they look down their nose at Black Americans.
Yeah, because we were their slaves. We were their slaves before the Europeans came to gather up slaves to bring to the New World. We were slaves to these people. They'll tell you that. But see, what people on the face of the earth sell their own people to a foreign people? You don't find people that do that. But if you got some people that are not your people living amongst you, you'll sell them.
Right.
But you're not going to sell your own people because you're doing your own self a disservice.
So
that don't make any sense.
But when they talk about that, because I think the movie Roots kind of hits on that about how these Africans sold their own people, but that wasn't true. Those were Hebrew people that they sold.
Exactly. Roots And that movie, Homicide, that's a bunch of garbage. That's not the history of our people. But when our people get on this kick of wanting to know their true identity and start digging and talking about different things other than what they've been programmed, then they always throw those movies out. They always do that.
Right.
They always throw those movies out to say, no, see, you're an African. You're an African. You're from the motherland.
And those movies, which were made by who? Made by white people.
Exactly. With their take on who we are. But see, just like y'all said, in the last days, my people gonna start waking up to their identity. My people gonna start putting two and two together.
All right.
And that's what we're proclaiming in these last days. That we're not Africans. We know who we are. We have historical records in secular history as well as our own history book of who we are and how we arrived here. And why we are here.
And so when we go back to this part where we left off, where Yah is speaking, where Yah is speaking, and he talks about how he's angry with his people being us.
Right.
Hebrews.
He was angry with our people because it goes all the way back to when our people came out of Egypt. He had told them when he gave Moses the 10 Commandments.
What chapter is that?
Okay, let's go back.
I mean, we don't have to read it now. I mean, I want to go to it after we finish this. But what book is that and what chapter?
Okay, that's going to be in Exodus, the book of Exodus.
Okay.
That's the second book after Genesis.
Okay, so let's go back to this one. So
okay,
at 6.
Okay, let's finish this up. Okay, so Yah says, I was angry with my people. That's why I had told Moses, I told Abraham, I told Isaac, and I told Jacob, your people gonna be slaves. Even the Messiah came and told our people, y'all gonna be slaves. Y'all going into captivity. Because it's the day that y'all go into the land and y'all start acting like all the nations, y'all gonna kick y'all out and y'all gonna be scattered to all the four corners of the earth. And that's exactly what's happening.
Now, where does it say that? What book is that where it says that?
Oh boy. Okay. Well, we will be scattered to the four corners of the earth. We can get that out of Exodus also.
Okay. All right. So, okay, go ahead. Continue.
Okay. And just remind me, because I want to read it. Everything you ask me, I want to prove it to you in the Word. So just remind me. Let's go read that.
Okay.
Okay. And so what y'all was saying, I was angry with my people because they disobeyed me. They went into my land. They started worshiping idols. They started doing everything that I told them that if they go into my land and they do these things, I'm going to kick them out. And I'm going to tell you, before we get off this phone, we got to read Deuteronomy 28th chapter, because that's going to be the nail in the coffin right there to let you know exactly who you are.
You said 28 what?
Deuteronomy chapter 28.
Okay, got it.
So don't let us get off.
Okay, that tells exactly who we are.
Don't let us get off this phone without reading it, okay?
Okay.
All right. So Yah says, I was angry with my people. I desecrated my inheritance, meaning I destroyed them. I allowed people to come and kill my people, imprison my people, treat them any kind of way. Because I said that was going to happen to them, so he got to keep his word. He said, I gave them into your hands. Talking about y'all Europeans. He said, I gave them into your hands, and you showed them no mercy. Even on the age, you laid a very heavy yoke. So in this slavery thing, he said, I gave my people into your hands. But no, let white America say, no, this was all by Willie Lynch and all of our founding fathers and all them. Slavery was our doing. No, hell it wasn't. This was Yah. Yah told Abraham that this was going to happen to his people over 2,000 years ago, before America even became a nation. Let me calm down. Let me calm down.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Yah says, even on the age, you laid a very heavy yoke. You said, I will continue forever. the eternal queen. Going back to Revelation 18 and verse 7 again. Okay? But you did not consider these things now or reflect on what might happen. Because, see, white America thought these niggas were going to be here and be slaves for the rest of their life. We're going to destroy them. We're going to continue to push them as far down as we can until we wipe them out. They didn't think about that. Wait a minute, hold on now. Could it be possible that one day some old lowly Negroes, they're not important people, not anybody, just common people, might one day get this book and read it and have understanding and start doing research and then go and tell their brothers and sisters, and then we be looking like fools in the end. See, that's what y'all is telling them. He talking to them through the scriptures. See, y'all didn't consider these things. Y'all thought y'all had me beat, and y'all thought y'all had my people beat. Don't work like that. See, that's what y'all is showing America. You are only for a season and a purpose. Your season is almost up, and your purpose you have served. Now it's time for you to drink from the wrath of his cup. It's time for you to drink down. It's your time. It's your hour. That's why when Barack Obama was talking about change, this is change y'all gonna believe in. You really gonna see some change. It ain't the same America as y'all thought it was years ago.
Right.
It's a whole different ball game. Just like even Romney at the closing of his speech, he said, "This thing is bigger than America." His words were, "This thing is bigger than Republican and Democrat."
Who said this?
That's Romney at the close of the first debate.
Right.
Because he had the closing words. He said, "This thing is bigger than Democrat or Republican. This thing is bigger than America. You daggone Skippy. This thing is big," and they know it. They know that their day has come. You will never be as prominent and have that high position as you once held for so long in the earth. Your days are numbered. This is the countdown. This is the countdown. We're in the countdown phase.
47:8.
Now then, listen, you wanting creature, lounging in your security and saying to yourself, "I am, and there is none besides me. I will never be a widow or suffer the loss of children." Ain't nobody going to attack me. But what does y'all say? But both of these will overtake you in a moment on a single day. Loss of children and widowhood.
Here again, we speak about I'll take you down in a day.
Exactly. Which comes right out of Revelation 18 and also Revelation 9, chapter 9, 13 through 21. And since I got that written now, let me go read that right
now. Now, when we finish with this part.
No. Just stay right there for a minute. I just want to see something right quick.
Okay.
What that says in Revelation 9 and 13 through 21. Let's talk about the armies coming up against her and all that from the Euphrates, which is where Iran is and so forth. Okay, yeah. So that's hand in hand. Okay. The last part of verse 9. They will come up upon you in full measure in spite of your many sorceries and all your potent spells, all your lies you be telling. You have trusted in your wickedness and have said, "No one sees me. Nobody know what we're doing over here in America." Yeah, right. Your wisdom and your knowledge mislead you. When you say to yourself, "I am, and there is none besides me," disaster will come upon you, and you will not know how to conjure it away. A calamity will fall upon you that you cannot ward off with a ransom, because they don't want no money. A catastrophe you cannot foresee will suddenly come upon you. Keep on, then, with your magic spells and with your many sorceries, which you have labored at since childhood. Perhaps you will succeed. Perhaps you will cause terror. All the counsel you have received has only worn you out. Let your astrologers come forward, and those stargazers who make predictions month by month. Let them save you from what is coming upon you. Surely they are like stubble. The flame will burn them up. They cannot even save themselves, yet they supposed to be seers. They supposed to be able to see into the future. They can't even save themselves from the power of the flame. Here are no coals to warm anyone. Here is no fire to sit by. That is all they can do for you. These you have labored with and trafficked with since childhood, since America became a nation. Each of them goes on in his error. There is not one that can save you. So here we go again with another prophet saying the same thing. You're going to be destroyed in 1 hour on a single day. You're going to be destroyed.
Were there any other nations that were destroyed in 1 hour on a single day?
No, because all the battles in antiquity, they lasted for years.
What is antiquity?
Meaning ancient times. It's just another way of saying ancient. Yeah, in the ancient days.
Okay.
Those battles raged on for years. Years and months and days. But for a powerful nation like this to be thrown down in 1 hour, in 1 day, that has never been heard of. That's why it's gonna blow the nation's mind, because this is something that has never happened in the history of the world.
So let me get this right.
Not that I know of.
So let me get this right. This boulder is supposed to come down and hit into the ocean, which causes a tsunami, which puts, is it all of America underwater, or most of it, or what is it? Wash it and just okay. Which makes it difficult for America to even respond with all of the arsenalry that they supposedly have, right? Or wrong? Is that what brings it down to the point where now she can't even shoot her weapons? Yeah, because when all that water come up, man, that's gonna knock out your power grid. That's gonna knock out all that. And then if like what we read in the other ancient writings, that the sun is supposed to flare up, that's gonna knock out all that. That a solar flare, that's what they've been talking about on TV and NASA. They don't want that to happen because the solar flare shorts out everything. No cell phone, no cars, no anything. You are wide open. And just last week, I was watching the military channel and C-SPAN, when C-SPAN was talking about how her artistry has been decreased, what they need to do in the event that they lose power. So they're talking about these things. They're trying to play out scenarios, what they're going to do, but the bottom line is, this is the Almighty's fight. You're not going to win this war. You're not going to win this one. It don't matter how many times you go over the scenario, how many times you try your war games, how you try to plan it out. The judge has spoken in 1 hour on a single day. That's it. Done. And I'm taking my people out of there. And all the nations whom I spare, they have come over here, the refugees, to seek asylum, they're going to leave too. Everybody got to return back to their own homeland.